You welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my channel. And this time around, we are going to be doing some proofs and some examples. But before I go over to start proving this, there's something I did not explain very well in the previous videos that we did. Actually, it's all about absolute value function, and that is going to help us to solve this. So, you remember in absolute value function, for example, we use minus 2, 0, and 2, for example. Whenever we plug in anything in this absolute value function, it gives us back what? That's empty. For example, minus 2 here gives us 2, 0 gives us 0, and 2 gives us what? 2. Now, this is absolute value function, right? Yes. Let's talk about the square function. Now, square function, we're going to use this again on the square function. When we plug in minus 2 on the square function, what does it give us? It gives us what? 4, right? It gives us 4. Or plug in 0, it gives us 0. Or plug in 2 in the square root function, it gives us what? It gives us 4. So I want you to look at this right here and look at this one right here. What is the difference? The difference is just the numbers, right? The magnitude of the number, yes. But I want you to look at the signs. The square function gives us what? Gives us exactly the same sign that the absolute value function gives us. Okay, so now let's check. Let's say that the absolute value function and the square function and also the distance function behaves alike. Do you understand that? So in a real line, whenever we pick anything, we pick a number here. When we square the number, okay, we'll pick a number here and we'll pick that same, okay, for example, we'll pick 3, minus 3 here, I'll pick 3 here. When we square this number here and square this one again, we are going to get the same thing. Do you understand that? That is what absolute value function is. And let us say that here, we know that this number here, okay, say, put in x equals to minus 3 and x equal to what? 3. We want to find the absolute value of this what function. And now it's going to give us what? 3. Now let us find the square of the function. It's going to give us what? Both of them 9, 9, 3, 3. But now minus 3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to what? 3. Now if x is equal to minus 3, but we'll take the absolute value, we'll get 3. Or if x is equal to 3, we'll take the absolute value, we have what? Minus 3. Well, if x is equal to minus 3, we'll take the square root, we'll take the square, we'll have what? 9. If x is equal to 3, have what? 9. So now, x minus x now is less than or equal to, minus 3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 3, because this is negative, this one can be anywhere, and here is what? Positive. So now, whenever you see anything like this, it is the same thing as what? The absolute value of x is less than or equal to what? 3. Do you understand that now? It is the same thing. So this is what we're going to be using to solve, to do these proofs here. So example number 1 says that absolute value solution. So I'm going to be solving this one and this. I'm going to be solving this and this. It says that absolute value of x, the absolute value of x is less or equal to what? Epsilon. And what is an epsilon? Epsilon is any positive number, no matter how small the positive number is, even if it is half, 1 over 4, or 1 over 8, or 1 over 125. Any positive number greater than 0, or any number greater than 0 is what they call what? Epsilon. So now, when I say that the absolute value is greater or equal to what? This epsilon. So that is what we're going to be proving now. When I say this, now we're going to say, from what I showed you before, that negative epsilon is less or equal to what? Let's say x is less or equal to what? Epsilon. Do you understand now? So let us, for example, let's say put in x to be equal to negative epsilon, and we put that negative epsilon into absolute value. What are we going to get? We are going to get what? Epsilon. Do you know the reason? The reason is because from the absolute value function definition, whatever we put, if it is negative number, we are going to get that. This implies that negative epsilon in absolute value function will always return negative of the negative epsilon to give you what? Positive epsilon. So now, and we put epsilon in our absolute value, we have what? Epsilon. The reason is because when we put this in absolute value, the absolute value definition says when we put a positive number in an absolute value function, it returns what? Positive. So meaning that this is what? Epsilon. And from what we did so far, we see that whenever we have a negative number and a positive number, then when we take the absolute value, it gives us the same thing, that the negative is always less or equal to this, which is less or equal to what? The positive. So for now, and in this video, this is where I'm going to stop. This one I did in the last video, and from the definition of absolute value function, you can easily do this one. So thank you. Do have a nice day. I would like you to watch my next video. It's still on. Okay, in the next video I'll be solving this, and they are very simple and sweet. I would like you to come and see it. Thank you. Do have a nice day.